We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully, your day is going well. It's Sunday by the time you hear this. We're recording it on Saturday night. And I know you guys have been thinking about it with all this fucked up shit going on. You're probably wondering, what the hell does Will think about this? Well, as luck would have it, Will is here. And I'll do what I can to pull the opinions and perceptions
Yeah,
out of Will. It's kind of tough
yeah,
sometimes,
it's
but
hard.
but
Um,
so I'm thinking you. I imagine you when I see these stories, kind of pulling your hair out and on the verge of getting violent.
Referring to which one? There's so many.
Any of them, anyone. It's like you get one, and then
Um,
you get a next one, and then you get a next one.
I think it's time for all of us, and if you're on TikTok, we should do what Saturday Night Live did in the late 70s. Do you remember what they used to announce on the news? You know, update, Francisco Franco is still alive.
Still dead. Still dead.
Yes, I
You
think,
should say still dead, but yeah,
yeah,
they made
it's
fun
still
of
dead.
it.
I think it's time for us to go. At the broadcast of this, to the best of our knowledge, Donald Trump is still alive. Sorry,
And sad news is he was found alive. Yeah. And then
he's
I
found
suppose I could
alive.
say, this is a Rational Boomer podcast. I'm Mike, and you're not.
Exactly.
Remember that part? Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the good old
Okay,
days.
you
Those are the
guys.
good old days.
Yeah, we'll move on because they're all going, "What the hell?" Yeah, it's been the whole thing. I think we have to address what's going on in D.C. only because the last time we talked, everything's based on a lie with Trump, manufactured lies, and this whole D.C. thing is a manufactured lie. And
Absolutely.
I mean, there was no reason for this. This was just another distraction from Epstein. Hi, release the Epstein files. Release the files. Goddamn pedophile. Um, but the thing about it is, it's an overreaction for nothing. And you could see it. Good.
It's not for nothing. It's performative because he needs
Right.
some distraction, or he needs to make himself look good, or he needs a win because he's doing nothing but losing. But even on this one in
Yeah. Well,
Washington, D.C., he just lost today or
yeah, I
yesterday.
know he didn't get the police chief's still in charge. And then Pam Bondi turns around and goes, yeah, but the police have to cooperate with ICE. And the problem, what I'm seeing right now is that, yeah, I saw the video of the raid on the sandwich thrower.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. Come in full SWAT, dropping in to get a man who threw a sandwich at a cop. Come on, guys. Oh,
For
who's
me,
buying this
the-
shit?
for me, the real crime is wasting a perfectly good Jersey Mike's sub sandwich. The fuck?
Yeah,
That's sick.
yeah. It was just and I'm watching it like these guys. It's not just National Guard troops. They pulled in every fucking agency, and I'm thinking, we do have other things to deal with that ATF, Homeland Security, FBI should be dealing with instead of walking the streets of DC looking to bust people. And this is an excuse to set up the next set of ethnic cleansing because you got the immigrants, you get the brown skinned people. Now we're going to get the thugs in the city, which is black people. And you saw they rolled out that video of all the people they arrested. You know, they were all black, they were all male, and you're not supposed to do that because when they go to court, if I'm a good defense attorney, no, you just prejudice my client's um, court case. If he's smart, that's how they're going to handle it. But they're not. They're creating more problems. But the press is not covering the protests. They're writing some on MSNBC. Some guy wrote that Democrats should pay attention because it's not about Trump bringing in troops to DC. It's about that they feel unsafe, and Democrats don't recognize that. And I'm reading these words and going, this was on an MSNBC website. I'm reading this and go, are you fucking crazy? No, they were saying they won't feel safe because police won't go into the high crime areas. to help them. There's not enough police, and when police show up, they don't treat them as citizens. They treat them as criminals or as the enemy. Part of the thing I keep seeing with all the police officers involved in this is that we've had decades of police officers being trained that citizens are the enemy. You're not here to serve them. You're here basically to go into a war zone. They talk about it all the time. Their training is like that. That's like in LAPD, they keep talking about community policing to protect and serve, but they ruined it because they look at everyone as the enemy, not as someone they protect and serve. And you can see that the way police react to protesters and anybody right now. It's sad to watch it.
If you've got a community that's got crime that's out of control, the first thing you go to shouldn't be sending in the military. The first thing the federal government should do, hey, we need to get them some more money, some more resources, so the people that enforce the law there can do the job better. Give them more people, give them better weapons, give them better resources to get this done. Donald Trump is like a bull in a china shop. He says, well, just send in the military. And then, of course, you've got a lot of people who live in that community that aren't criminals that have to suffer through the problems with having these people go through the streets and harassing or doing checkpoints to people that are perfectly innocent.
Or you can't even go to a bar at night because they're singing around the bars. Well, what are you doing? I mean, when this started, they sent agents to house telling people don't stand on your porch, don't stand out there, don't drink on your porch, don't smoke on your porch. And I'm looking at them going, this is my fucking house and my property. If I want to have a beer, look out in the streets. That's not your fucking problem. But see, that's the way they look at it, because in those areas, and they're all black communities, out of sight, out of mind. And Republicans are just playing the game. And you have one guy saying, we need to raise some neighborhoods in DC and start over again. What are you talking about? I mean, these people are literally insane now.
Like this is when you've got military in the streets going door to door, telling people what they can and can't do on their own property. Even if you're a Republican, even if you're a Trumpophile, that should raise a red flag. It's like what I told people when they overturned Roe v. Wade. Even if you are against abortion, you should be against them doing this, because once they take one right away from you, they'll take another constitutional right away from you. And look at us here now. That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, due process is gone.
Yeah.
They're picking you up without warrants, without habeas corpus. They're doing it without saying they're doing it. Also, you're talking about Roe v. Wade. The Supreme Court's going to look at the decision that made same-sex marriage legal.
Huh.
I mean, it's been that Kim Davis's lawsuit has been laughed out of every court. Now it's in the Supreme Court, which we're all sitting there going, fuck. Because this one woman in Kentucky who's had 4 husbands wants to protect the sanctity of marriage because she got fired in Kentucky because she refused to give out licenses for same-sex marriage. She is the Carolyn Bryant of the 21st century.
Anita Bryant, yeah. What's interesting about her? She has 4 husbands, and she's got the same amount of teeth. It's fucking incredible. She's from Kentucky. She's a fucking hillbilly. Somebody's whining, and somebody from the Republican Party is backing her because she couldn't pull this off herself. But I got to tell you, if they push that, a couple of things that frustrate me about this, and I've said it before. Somebody like Scott Bessent, who is a big time Trump humper, the Secretary of the Treasury. He's also an out of the closet gay man who's married to another man, legally married to another man, has 2 kids from surrogacy, and he stands with Donald Trump as he's trying to tear apart his own fucking community. Talk about one of the most despicable human fucking beings in the world. I can't think of somebody worse.
Oh no, I can tell you how. I get local news from Los Angeles, Channel 5, Channel 9. So I see something here. And Montebello Man, which is outside Los Angeles, a heavily Hispanic area,
Huh?
Montebello man who voted for Trump, Latino voted for Trump, gets harassed by ICE and regrets his vote. He literally got pushed up against a wall by ICE. He had his passport, was able to prove that he's a citizen, and he had the fucking gall to say, I didn't think it was going to happen to me. I thought they were going after criminals. As I said in my video, and I'll say it again here, to all you Latinos who voted for Trump, thinking you're not going to be, that it's not going to affect you, fuck your family, fuck your children, FAFO. You're one of the reasons we're here. You're
Yeah.
one of the reasons they're doing this to us, because you thought you were more, that you being an American citizen was going to save you. No, motherfucker, they don't care. They don't. We all look the same to them. Hi,
Think about it,
welcome to the real world.
people who vote for Donald Trump will say, I didn't think he meant me. I didn't think he meant this. Are you telling me that after 10 years of listening to this guy day after day lie, you didn't think he'd lie to you? Please, motherfucker, you deserve to get crucified economically or through
And,
deportation. But you're just too
and, the,
stupid to exist.
and the lies continue. I mean, I don't know how DC is going to play out. Okay. People are protesting. It's peaceful protest. I don't know how far they're going to go. The West Virginia governor, again, Republican governors who want to be big so they can get into the national stage, is sending 400 National Guard troops into DC. But this is the difference, though. They're giving them weapons. Weapons. That's not good. That leads to problems, especially. And the thing about it is, it's to my mind historically, it's ironic. They're coming up with this some kind of rapid deployment force against protests, because Trump has not forgot the George Floyd protest. The George Floyd protests haunt him, because in D.C. it got so bad he did go into the bunker. Remember that. He ran like a scared little bitch into the bunker. That's what he told Mark Milley, can we shoot him? Milley said no. And backtrack on that, the United States military doesn't have people like Mark Milley anymore. The United States military is run by people, say again?
People that have the same kind of integrity, but they aren't at the level with power. That's the problem.
Well, also, yeah, I keep thinking, why are troops doing this? Why are they in on this? Why are they rejecting it? Because you've got a group of troops that are outside. Look at this. You got a group of troops that are outside of the two Middle Eastern wars, Afghanistan and Iraq. Those vets are gone. Okay. You have a group of people who have never been in combat, who spend time at military bases watching Fox News fed to them 24/7. So they believe the fucking fantasy. I watched older vets screaming at National Guardsmen being ignored because they don't believe the combat vet. They don't believe the combat vet. They believe Scott Hannity. This is what they were. This is what happened in the military, and I'm afraid if you give these people weapons and they're threatened, I mean, it's happened before. It's called Kent State. I remember it.
The Penn State situation is inevitable, especially if they have weapons. Um, and when that happens, all hell breaks loose. People reacted very badly with Kent State, and we had news on at 6 and 10, and we had three network channels. Something like that happens today, it's going to be worldwide just like that, and it's going to come raining down on a lot of motherfuckers.
And the thing is, like, the governor did it, and then whoever's the general in charge of the National Guard in West Virginia is trying to sell it as, no, 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 we're just helping out. We're not there to threaten you. You're fucking sending troops into D.C. outside of West Virginia. What the fuck do you think people are going to think? Why do you need to send 400 troops? Because The governor wants to boost his national image with the Republican Party. He's looking at higher office. And the rapid deployment force they're talking about for protest, they're going to pull it from National Guard troops in the South. And I'm thinking, so you're creating a Confederate army again? I mean, honestly, think about it. That's what they want to do. The South shall rise again, I guess. It's just pathetic. And what are they going to do? Shoot people who are protesting? I mean, you already got Predator drones. This is, I saw the video, tracking people in cities. And do you think that Trump and Stephen Miller aren't outside the idea of a little suppressive fire from a drone to stop protesters? They're not. This is where we're at.
What I don't
Sadly.
understand is there's blatant violations of the Constitution every day, all day by Trump, the Trump administration. There are Republicans in that party that are smart enough to know better. They know how dangerous this is. They know what the ramifications of something like this should they allow it to happen. But still, they stand there with their thumb in their ass saying nothing. I wonder if they think about what's going to happen when this is all said and done, because it will come to an end. Donald Trump will choke on a hamburger or just fucking get kicked out by his own party. But when that happens, do they not believe there's going to be some accountability? Do they think Donald Trump is the only one that's going to be prosecuted? Because there's people in ICE, people in positions in the departments, people that are department heads like Pete Hegseth. They've all committed crimes. Christine Nome, she's going to be
Yeah,
prosecuted off this shit. She has to be.
but they think even without Trump, the movement will continue. Because understand, the Heritage Foundation is the impetus behind this. They are now deep in power. Stephen Miller, honestly, to me, is the real president of the United States. He's pulling the
Well, yeah,
handles. And
probably.
they believe that if Trump goes, they will survive with J.D. Vance. The movement will continue. Republicans fear Trump and fear the backlash so badly. Hell, I just read an article where they're talking about in Rolling Stone is going, corporations and universities know what Trump is doing is wrong, but they are so afraid of him, they capitulate, i.e., Columbia University. I mean, and corporations getting rid of DEI because they don't want to deal with it. The problem is, from it doesn't. You give him an inch, he'll take a mile, and it
It's,
doesn't work. It's stupid.
it's like when you're dealing with a blackmailer. If you pay a blackmailer, you're just going to get blackmailed again, and they're going to go farther and farther. And this is where they
And
make the mistake. You know, like you say, we've got the media. The media, the mainstream media, in terms of news, basically worthless now. You can't trust CBS. You can't trust 60 Minutes. You can't trust MSNBC or CNN. You can't trust politicians. You really can't trust anybody. And we were talking about this before we went on. Me and a bunch of other people got a notice from somebody that was kind of connected inside TikTok, and they're laying out their new community guidelines. And it basically says, at least on a temporary basis, they don't want you talking about Epstein. They don't want you talking about elections. They don't want you calling out politicians. And he says, well, it's only temporary. I said, look, man, I do what I do. I've done it for 5 years. I ain't changing it. And if you want to kick me out, that's fine. But you're going to have to kick out a lot of people and see what this fucking app is worth when you got a lot of big time, not me, but a lot of big time creators no longer on this app. When it's all said and
so,
done, you'll have a bunch of kittens on roller skates. And if that's what you want, that's what you'll get.
I mean, I don't mind a kid on roller skates, but if
No,
you're
I
going
don't
to
either.
take the political arm out of TikTok, I better see the right wing guys go.
Yeah.
Um, the what is that? Older Millennium, he got to go. All
Well,
those
they all got
guys,
to go.
they all got to go. If you're going to take politics out, and if you want me to talk entertainment, I'm fine with that. Fuck it, I can do it on TikTok. But you better make sure the right wing talking people are gone. It's the same shit. You gotta go, right?
I'm not sure that that's what they'll do, but the important thing for people listening to this show is whatever happens on TikTok doesn't affect what happens with the Rational Boomer
No,
podcast. It doesn't affect whether Will be here or I will be here or Eric will be here or anybody will be here. We'll still be here. If you want to hear my TikToks or Will's TikToks, you can hear them on YouTube too. You
you
can hear
can.
mine on Spotify. You can get the podcast on Spotify as well and Substack. They can try to turn off the outlet with TikTok, but they can't shut us up, and we will just get louder.
Right.
The thing is that TikTok is doing the same thing that everybody else is doing. They're scared of Donald Trump, so they just give them what they want. You don't give a
Well,
spoiled child what they fucking want. You kick them in the ass.
yeah. But you could see though they don't like it when you use their same tactics on them.
No,
Which
no, they
brings
don't.
us which brings us to the redistricting thing and Gavin Newsom. First of all, Gavin Newsom, you knew it was going to be fucked. Gavin Newsom's social media people have gone to putting his post in caps, just like Trump. And it's like someone in the press was like really clutching their pearls. How can you do it? He goes, because I can. He does it. The point is, Goose Gander, fuck you. He said, I don't know how he found God. Something happened because now he's like, I don't give a fuck. And the one thing about it, because California, that referendum is a good chance of passing. I don't give a fuck what Arnold Schwarzenegger said or the League of Women Voters who are saying, California, you can't do that. You're going to be just like the Republicans. Yes! We need to be like the Republicans, you dumb fucks, because that's where we're at right now. And he's smart.
I talked to the other day about the tweets or the X posts that Gavin Newsom's team is making and how it's basically mocking Donald Trump and making some good points. There was one he made yesterday, and I found it finally, and I want to read this because I think it's hilarious. This is one of them, and it comes from Governor Newsom's press office on X. And as you pointed out, he does everything in caps to mock Donald Trump. And this is what one of them says. Trump just fled the podium with Putin. No questions, nothing. Total low energy. The man looked like he'd just eaten 3 buckets of KFC with Vlad. Is he afraid the press will ask about me, America's favorite governor, and the fact that I stole the cameras this week with the maps? Many people are saying he begged Putin to hold his hands tiny on the way out. Admit it, Donnie. You're terrified because this was the worst week of your life because of me, Gavin C. Newsom. The maps will end your presidency, retake Congress for the people, and expose your rigged little game. My perfect maps are more beautiful than anything in Trump Tower, which many say smells weird. At Stephen Chung 47. Explained the disaster. Explain the disaster. Enjoy your flight home, Donald. You're Putin's problem now. I'm America's solution, GCN. And it's just nothing but mocking Donald Trump. And you know, Donald Trump looked at it and heard about it, and he is just, but there's a lesson learned here.
Yeah.
Everybody's afraid of Donald Trump. Gavin Newsom kicks him right in the nuts, and what's happening? Donald Trump doesn't say shit because he's a terrified little coward.
And like he was having his press conference announcing the referendum, and Trump, they sent ICE down to stand in front of him. And I saw, I go, and your point? I mean, honestly, if you wanted to cause problems, the CHP would have kicked your ass and pushed you out. I mean, come on. See, this is, again, like I said, performative. And what Newsom is doing is, if this is the game we have to play. So I don't want to hear about from Democrats saying we need to find a message or we can't be down and dirty. We have to keep possessed. We have to talk about democracy. We can't save democracy the way we did before because it doesn't work. We have to fight fire with fire. They started it. Let's be blunt. They fucking fired the first shot. Okay? If you want to go Civil War, they fired the shots at Fort Sumter. Okay, Now it's time to do it. Sure, let's do it.
I'm trying to save democracy now. We can't save democracy until we save ourselves. We have to save
Exactly.
ourselves first, and then we can focus on democracy. Because as long as Republicans or Donald Trump in power, democracy is at risk, and there's nothing we can do if we don't have the power in the House or the Senate. So we've got to win in the midterms first, but between now and then, we got to start kicking some Republican
Yeah.
motherfuckers out.
I mean,
That's what we got to do.
I saw Brian Tyler Cohen's newest video has the guy from Pod Save America, who was a
Mhm,
Obama guy, right?
mhm.
And he's talking about what the election would be for this referendum. Do you think it's going to win? And he said, this is why these guys are disconnected from reality. He said that it's good for the grassroots, but the big donors don't want to mess with it because they're afraid of Trump. Okay, so fuck them. Fuck the billionaires because they will spin wherever they can be safe. And for him to say that tells me there's still a big disconnect from the old Democratic Party to what they're seeing now. What they're seeing now scares them because they don't understand it. No, what you don't understand is that people have had it, and this is the only way we can fight back. Jasmine Crockett has shown you that. And yeah, by the way, did you see her last little thing that Jasmine Crockett had? She was doing a meeting. She was doing a meeting in Houston. It was in Dallas, and she was talking about her life and how we can be together as a community and what we need to do. And some fucked up influencer, a Hispanic lady named Gonzalez, stood up in the middle of everything with a majority of an audience of black people and said, hey, Jasmine, how do you feel being a fake ghetto hood rat? And everyone went, and she got upset because they threw her out. Bitch, calling her that wasn't the issue. You said ghetto hood rat in a predominantly black audience. What do you think was going to happen to you? You might as well drop the N word in there. Okay? It was ridiculous. And then she's out like, well, they threw me out. Yeah? You're lucky you got out without broken bones. And then the cop that was out there was a big black gentleman going, she's yelling, he goes, ma'am, that way. I don't have to tell you again, or I will arrest you. This is their fight. This is how they fight, thinking it's going to make a difference. They don't know what's coming. They don't.
In your face and they try to overwhelm you. And this is where we need people like Gavin Newsom to say, hold on a fucking minute. I'll slap you in the mouth and we'll fight
Right.
this out because they don't want to fight. They don't have the
And,
courage. They're cowards.
and
But they're
going
not
back
used to having that happen. And that's exactly why we got to do it.
and the referendum, I know Republicans will pour money in it, talking about Newsom. They'll make it about Newsom. But the point that what they're going to sell it as, and I think one thing that they did say in that Barata Cohen video would make sense. Newsom's going to sell it as, yeah, we don't want to do this, but in order to protect our democracy and protect California, because as long as Trump has the power he has, you already saw what he did to California, what he's done to Los Angeles, what he did with the fires, how he treats us. If we don't take back Congress and step on him, because the problem is the founding fathers knew a dictator would apparently show up. They expected, though, the other two branches to check him. They did not think that the other two branches would be complicit. So it's time for us to do this. Later on, he said only 5 years. Later on, we'll go back to the independent council. But right now, to save California from Trump, this is what we got to do. That's how he's going to sell it. And it's not the governor like Abbott cheating to do it. It's him asking the people of California, do you want to save yourself? That's why it's going to have more power and more depth. That's why Republicans in California are going, we're fucked. Yeah, you're fucked. Pretty much so.
People say, well, they've already passed the referendum or the gerrymandering thing in Texas. It hasn't passed yet
No.
because they closed the special session. Presumably on Monday, he'll start a new special session, and then it could likely pass at that point. But what Gavin Newsom is doing, he's causing them to think. He's causing Donald Trump to think. Well, Gavin could do as many as 10 seats, but he may just only make 5 seats. But whatever he does is going to cancel out what we've done, so it's really pointless. A smart a smart person would say, maybe we should back down from this and just not do it. But we're dealing with Donald Trump and Greg Abbott. They don't care if they lose. They will double, triple down, and they will do it
Mhm.
until they fucking fail miserably. So we have to presume that they are going to pass this gerrymandering bill. And then, of course, we've got Gavin Newsom who will do what he does, but he's not the only one. I personally think that whether Texas does it or not, California should. You got to be the
Well,
aggressor here. You got to be
well, here's the thing.
assertive and slap them first.
You said the last time we talked, bear with me a minute, that the
What's that?
last time we talked, that they should do it anyway. He
Yeah.
did it anyway. By presenting the referendum from the governor's office, it doesn't need signatures. It's
Right.
on the ballot on November 4th, period.
Well, it is on the ballot.
It's on the ballot November 4th, period. The governor in California has the right to put up a referendum without signatures. This is not a threat. This is done. That's why panic is running. It's on the ballot on November 4th in California. So no matter what they do in Texas, it's going to happen anyway. Because I could see it. If Texas backs off and they still do it, it's even better. Texas is not going to back off. He knew that. It's on the ballot. Good luck now. That's why they're in a fucking tizzy. They don't get it. Why is he doing it? Because you did. And I hope Governor Pritzker, Governor Hochul, the governor of Maryland, who keeps his name keeps rolling out of my head, do the same. Because even if Florida does it or all the other little states, they can't compete with those big states. They can't. They don't have enough bodies. They don't have enough districts. It won't work. Sorry.
And the governor of Maryland is Wes Moore, and he's a pretty powerful guy too. And I've seen him talking too, and I think they're all ready to do whatever the fuck they need to do. And
Right.
um, you would think
Oh,
that Donald Trump and the Republicans are going, "Hey, wait a minute, they did the unforeseen. They're going tit for tat and doing what we're doing. We're not used to that from the Democrats." Theoretically, they should say, "Well, maybe we'll back down." But as you and I are
no.
talking about, they're not smart enough to do that. That's why you can't trust them to back down.
And also West Virginia said troops. Trump said, hey, we need troops from Maryland. Westmore said, those are Maryland people. Good luck with that. He's not sending them. And the thing about it is, people have no idea what Trump thinks of Maryland, of Baltimore. He hates Baltimore.
Oh yeah.
It's another one of those cities that he wants to get to. And it's sad to watch, like, someone brought it up, the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, Jim
Yeah.
Harbaugh, John
Right.
Harbaugh. Jim's in San Francisco. Jim's in San Diego.
Right.
He went to see Trump, and he praises Trump. He's a big time Trumper. And they
Oh, I
asked
don't doubt it.
him, and he said, "Yeah, whatever." People will start canceling their season tickets. They asked him his opinion of, do you know what Trump thinks of Baltimore? He just dismissed it. Baltimore, they're not. They literally had a lady who said, "I'm selling my tickets," and the front office called him and said, "What do we need to do to fix this?" All right. Hey, I mean, they don't understand. I got into a live last night with Jaded and a couple of people, and they didn't want to talk about politics. And some people have said, "Well, why are you always upset? Why are you angry?" All that. Why do you always want to talk politics all the time? I am not always angry. I am a nice guy. I get along. I have fun. I mean, trust me, I do. But the thing about it is, they keep saying we don't need to talk about politics. This isn't politics anymore. We're not talking about policy. We're not talking about taxes or economic things in a normal world. We're talking about morality, the Constitution, what's right. And you want me to be nicer, saying that, oh, okay, whatever. I can't live like that because I care too much about what I see. It doesn't, I mean,
Told you
it's
not
not
to talk about politics?
ethics.
What live? What live and who told you that?
It was jaded. Tiffany, a couple of people that were in the chat. Um, you've seen them a couple times.
Well,
Trick or
I'll be
treating.
honest. I'll be honest with you. One of the reasons they may be saying that is because they're terrified that TikTok is going to take them down because they're talking about politics. I was going to do a live tonight and I just wasn't feeling it. But I guarantee you, when I do a live, I may get taken down again because of the way this community guidelines thing is. But I can't walk into this afraid. I'm going to
No,
do what I fucking do, and if they take it down, well, then I'll just do it someplace else like I already am. But this
yeah,
is the problem, this being above them or being the better man and not being angry about it. If we're in the situation we're in and you're not angry, fuck you, because you're no
yeah.
good to us. You're of no value to me or anybody else trying to fight this fight. If you're not angry yet, you're worthless to us.
I mean, I had one person in one of your comments talking about Trump's Alaska thing, and that's next on the list, guys.
Uh,
And I said Trump's weak, and a person goes, "Of course he's weak. What are you talking about?" I go, and I just put in, "Duh." Okay. And the person came back because on TikTok I use Kumquat 6. That's a joke. Okay. Because I got both my Binder 38 US accounts butchered. So I said, fuck it. You can't find me. Here we are. And the person said, do you know Kumquat means that you're, I don't know if you're he or she. Kumquat means that you're willy nilly. So you don't know what you're talking about. And I said, I don't know you, but I go, look, you don't know me. You don't know my life. Okay. If you talk like that, you're MAGA to me. Okay. But I will warn you this. I said, say this to my face because I will warn you this. Don't make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry because that was ridiculous. Come on.
do you
Bitch,
know?
please.
You don't have to give it to me here, but do you know what the handle on that person's name was?
Oh, I could find it. It's on that TikTok video you did on the thing. I'll find it later. I'll show it. I'll get it to you for you later. But I mean,
Well, because I've got a rule of thumb here. We don't allow MAGAs in here, but I also don't allow stupid people. And to suggest what she suggested to you tells me she doesn't know rudimentary fucking vegetables.
yeah,
It's just fucking stupid.
no, I mean,
What,
it, she is right. They were right. I don't know if it's a he or she. Kumquat
what
is
about you?
used. I don't know. It was one of those blank accounts with no avatar.
No, but I mean, what do they write about? It's something I've not heard of.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that kumquat means soft or something like that. It's an old term. And the only reason I came up with kumquat because it's just a joke. All right. But I didn't. The point was, I told you, duh, because you were saying that he is, yeah, duh. And you took offense, which tells you you're MAGA. And don't do that. And that comes back to the other thing. I I hate I can be cordial. I know where I'm at, and I know that we have to be respectful at certain times. And if you're trying to get your point across, you need to say it in a certain tone of voice. But I refuse to have an opinion and have to code it because some people don't like it. Because the thing about it is that's my opinion. If you don't like it, reject it. Simple as that. If I don't like your opinion, I reject it. Problem with MAGA and these people, they consider that gospel. That's what we're dealing with Trump. Whatever Trump says it does is gospel, and we can't oppose it. Bullshit.
If you don't like somebody who's straightforward and blunt, I don't know why the fuck you're listening to me because I'm the epitome of that. But I will say to that person, if they're listening to this podcast, I've got a hard rule. If you go after my guest, you go after me and I'll block you. That's fine. But if you go after my guest, it's going to take it a step farther. Here's what's going to happen. You've got two choices. I block you because you're inconsequential. You don't matter anymore. But if you don't want to be blocked, I got a sure way you can stay on. And that's come on this podcast, face me straight on, and let's have a little talk and see how tough you are because they won't do it. Typically, I
And
block them because Trumplefucks are worthless, they're stupid, and they're inconsequential. And the one thing I hate more than anything, and I've gotten in trouble over this before with people I know, it's the people that say, "Oh, I don't support Trump," but talk like Trumplefucks. That to
yes,
me is a covert Trumplefuck. I don't like them any more than I like Scott Bessent for going with a party that goes after his own community. If you don't have the courage to stand by your convictions, but you want to come in sideways at me, well, we'll kick you square in the nuts and kick you the fuck out because I don't want anything to do with you.
I mean, it's those are the people that go, oh look, that child's crying because their mom's taken away. Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
That's who you deal with independence. If you're an independent, fuck you. Choose a side. Choose a fucking side. Because again, it's not about politics. It's about morality and right and wrong. I keep seeing these polls. Trump is losing support in independence. Why does he have support in independence? Call yourself who you are. You're fucking MAGA. You just don't want your neighbors to know it because you know what your neighbor looks like. You don't want to hang with those people, but you don't want to hang with the rest of us because you kind of don't like us either. You want to be, I just want to play both sides. Fuck you. Choose a side. It's time.
It's like what we've seen over the years, those racists that are nice to your face and then do racist things behind. I think those people are more dangerous than the overtly racist or overtly Trumpophobic. I'd rather deal with somebody who is who they are and admits to it, as opposed to somebody who's trying to play both sides. Those motherfuckers I hate.
Yeah, those are the people that go, yeah, if everyone was like this, I'd like them. Yeah, I've heard you people before. I've seen
Yeah.
you people before. And that's the thing with, again, with this whole thing of politics, it's not politics. Stop talking about politics and messaging. The message is simple. Look what's going on in DC. Look what's going on in the streets of LA. Look at what he's using the military and federal law enforcement for. If you still want to debate about whether that's wrong, fuck you. It's simple as that. It's wrong. It's unconstitutional. And don't give me that we're here illegally. Fine. Let them go to court because that's what Biden and Obama did and still deported more people than Trump and didn't put them in cages and didn't put them in fucking concentration camps. If you don't, if you want to debate us on whether that is wrong, no, you're MAGA. Go fuck off.
This isn't about politics anymore. This isn't about Democrats versus Republicans. We're way beyond this. In my mind, it's about a few things: wrong and right,
Mm-hmm.
lies and truth, decency and indecency, justice and injustice. There is no gray area there. There is no compromise there. You either are right or you're wrong. And if you're wrong, I don't want anything to do with you. If you're too stupid to know what's right, then get the fuck out of the way. But if you want to fight about it, we'll be here and fight with you. I have no problem sitting down and talking to somebody I know is wrong because I can prove you wrong. But you gutless motherfuckers want to say, well, why can't you see my side? Because you're fucking wrong. I'm not going to give you any room on you being wrong just because you think it's fair. There is nothing fair anymore. There is no rule of law. There are no more norms. So we might as well get into the arena and play the game the way it's being played. Now, the Republicans may not like that, but fuck you.
Yeah, because they have been setting the rules in the game for decades.
Right.
And and again, movie guy, because I think movies sometimes relate really well because they're dramatizations of things, but they kind of hit
Give good
points.
analogies. They give good
Yeah.
analogies. Sure.
So the new movie Ballerina, which is a John Wick film, is following like a female assassin. She's training, but she's training against a man who's literally beating her ass every day because she's bigger and stronger. He's bigger and stronger. So her instructor comes up to her and she goes, "What's going on?" He goes, "He's too strong." She goes, "Yeah, because you fight by his rules. You let him set the terms of combat. You have to set the terms of combat. Do what you do best. Fight like a girl. Cheat." And she did because he didn't expect it. Now it's time for us to do the same. No more Mr. Nice Guy, Miss Nice Guy. That's what I'm seeing a lot of people. And those people who talk like that are the ones who are getting skewered on TikTok because we are tired of this shit. No, there is no both sides. And this is what Newsom has done. He's changed the rules of the game. We're going to fight like you. Don't like it? Then don't do what you're doing. But right now, we are down and dirty. Simple as that.
A good analogy would be, let's talk about the Civil War. You had the people on the North side who were against slavery and the people on the South that were for slavery. What's the happy medium there? Less slaves? Be nicer to the slaves? No, it was either we have slaves or we don't have slaves. And that's what I'm talking about now. Either we are doing unconstitutional shit or we stand by the Constitution.
Right.
Whatever side you want to be on is cool, but be prepared to get the retribution for choosing the wrong thing when it's all said and done.
Right. And again, we have to figure out, do what Grant did when he took the Army of Potomac over, and he was sitting with his new generals, and all his generals kept talking about what Lee was going to do. Lee's going to do this. Lee's going to do that. And this was a general who beat Lee in Vicksburg, humiliated his army. And he was sitting there, and he finally said, "I want you to all stop worrying about what you're going to do to Lee and figure out what we're going to do to Lee. Bring me the maps." And that was the difference. What we need to do is that basically say, "Won't worry about what Trump's going to do to us. Figure out what we're going to do to him." And this is the start, little by little, because we've been fucking fighting a stupid fight for years. We've let the media convince us that we are too weak. No, we're not. I mean, I saw one guy talking about what Democrats are going to do with their leadership, leaderless. No, fuck you. They're going to get what happened on November 5th will go down in history as one of the most racist moments in American history, period. No one can tell me different. Historians will write that way. Had nothing to do with message. Had to do with race and misogyny. And unless we finally, as Democrats, stop fucking worrying about the message and understand the reason that qualified woman lost that, because she was not a white man, then we can get moving forward. So I don't want to hear your shit anymore. Tired of it. That's why the majority of black women and black creators don't want to get messing with it, because you told them to go fuck off. And I understand it. And it's making it hard right now. And that's why Trump is pushing on them, because he needs them. I thought Danny Lyon, who's a really good creator, said it really well. The only way that Trump finally wins is if he can get black anger back like he got in George Floyd, and then he can start pointing to it. But that's why he's pushing. That's why he's pushing. That's why he's pushing. And that's what he needs, because even though everything seems to be falling apart, it's still not there, because these guys are fucking incompetent. They're totally incompetent.
They keep fucking up every time they do something, and it's good that we've got somebody like Gavin Newsom out there to point this shit out. I mean, we've talked about this before. It's one thing to try to take Donald Trump and the Republicans down, but really the only thing that seems to work is to embarrass them, call out their failures, and keep embarrassing them. This is the thing that drives them the most nuts, and this is the thing that causes them to spiral. We can't take them down the way we've been doing it, so we've got to force them to take themselves down, and that's kind of what we're doing.
And they did it this weekend. Let's talk about this weekend, Friday,
Yeah.
and what's going on now. You and I are children of the Cold War, okay? We saw when leaders met with other leaders. The reason they say only Nixon could go to China is because Nixon was a force. Toss out the rest of it. Nixon was a force, okay? Watching Donald Trump force American soldiers to roll a red carpet on their knees for a fucking war criminal was disgusting. Watching him waddle down the fucking stairs and waddle on that red carpet and clap for Vladimir Putin as he walked up to him was disgusting. Watching him get in the fucking presidential limousine with Trump with no aides was disgusting.
It was.
That was such a weak point of American hegemony. I can't even describe it anymore. It made me ill.
Well, when Donald Trump in Helsinki in 2018, I think it was, basically said, I don't believe my own intelligence. I believe Vladimir Putin. That was a weak moment for this country and for Donald Trump. But what happened this past weekend was worse than that.
And you know it's bad when Fox News called it out.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets worse. I was reading through some stuff before we came on, so I did some prep. Yeah, guys, I do prep. And they found classified documents or notes of the meeting, of notes they made for the meeting in a hotel room in Alaska, describing who's going to sit where, what is going to be discussed, and everything.
I heard
That's
it was
how.
not only I heard it was not only the room, it was in the printer, like in the lobby or
Yes.
something. It was in the fucking printer. So anybody could see it, not just the maid coming through. I mean, that's
And,
how reckless and dumb these people are.
but see, all these guys who follow Trump, Scott Switnick, Carol Levitt, Rubio, all that, think he's like the greatest thing on the face of the planet.
Do they
That
really,
when
or do they just say that
well,
uh, be sycophants to him? Because you got
they're
to
cultists.
the stuff that Marco Rubio is saying. He was a senator. He knows this shit's wrong, which makes it
Okay.
worse because he's going along with it.
Yeah, Switnick is a cultist. Levitt is a cultist. Okay. But what the reports are coming out, and again, that place leaks like a sieve. All right. Is that when they got into the meeting, they expected Trump to treat Putin like he treated Zelensky. What they watched was Putin treat Trump as his little bitch, telling him what he was going to do, how he's going to do it. And it was basically everyone in that meeting or around him were shocked that that happened. That's why when he came out of the meeting and he had the press conference, which was pathetic too, the first news reporter from Fox said Trump got steamrolled. And he got that from other people and people in the meeting. He got steamrolled. He got his orders, what he's going to do. So when he calls Zelensky, and Zelensky's supposed to be here on Monday, but he's not coming alone because the EU is sending some people with him. I believe the Finnish prime minister is coming with him, but apparently Trump likes this person. They don't want to repeat what happens, but what the report is and what's coming on is Trump's going to tell Zelensky, you need to give him what he wants so there's peace because I'm tired of this. That's not going to fly because Trump is so desperate for that Nobel Peace Prize, he'll do anything. But Zelensky ain't going to play that game. And European countries already said, we're ready to back you, brother. We're there for you. Fuck the U.S.
To this meeting, and all along, I've said this not because I'm any genius, but because it's so obvious. that Donald Trump, I said that there would be nothing that would come out of that meeting. And the reason I said that is because whatever the little they did have turned out to be a lie. They didn't have anything set up. They're going to need, in order to get some agreement, you're going to need Zelensky there, and you're going to need to get Putin to back down. And Putin is not going to back down. Um, Now, Donald Trump can try to pressure Zelensky, but Zelensky is just not going to give up land,
No.
20% of his land. And the people that are concerned about it just as much, almost as much as Zelensky, is the EU folks. They're not going to allow Donald Trump to bully this guy. They're going to say, we're going to support you. We're going to keep doing this. Donald Trump isn't going to negotiate this deal because he has no idea how to negotiate. He's going to do exactly what you said and what I've said all along. He's going to go, well, let's get this thing done. Just give Putin everything he wants and we'll wrap it up. Well,
And
Zelensky's not going to do that.
and there's no plan because whenever you have a high meeting like between two powers like that, there are literally weeks of meetings with foreign services ironing out stuff that they're going to talk about. There are agendas set. They talk to one another. That's the way you do it. So you know when you walk in what's going to happen. But see, Trump doesn't work like that. He's I mean, I am always in awe when he speaks that people think that he's some kind of genius. Even in my worst days, drunk, would I sound better than Donald Trump? I don't get him.
It's kind of like the tariffs. I'm going to do 90 deals in 90 days. Did he forget the deal that he did with Canada and Mexico? It took 2.5, 3 years to get it done. It takes a long time to nail down a tariff and get it signed, or a trade deal and get it signed. He has no deals signed. He told us he had a deal with China, and now he's giving them another 90 days to come up with a deal. Which is it, Don? You don't have a deal. You just lie to people and hope that you'll look good, but you keep
And,
looking bad.
and it gets worse because, again, I read an article is that they don't know what to do with the tariffs because they're still convinced in the White House how elected it is. You heard that external revenue thing that's supposed to take money and then give it back to us. They still want to get that on board. But I don't know how do you do that because the money in tariffs doesn't go to the government. But Lutkin wants to be charged with it because he wants to be Trump's buddy. These guys have no fucking idea. They just want to cater to Trump. And like the economy is not something that you politic with. It's insane to watch these people try to convince me that the countries are paying the tariffs, which is not true. There is no billions of dollars coming in, guys. You know why there is no billions of dollars, even if it worked? Remember, they kept talking about the trade deficit? You know, that all those imaginary numbers he came up with so they could fix it? We're in a bigger trade deficit now. You know why? Because no one's buying American goods overseas.
Right,
They don't
exactly.
want them. They don't want them. Kentucky bourbon industry, Jack Daniels is going out of business. Why? The Canadians aren't buying their fucking whiskey. No one's buying it. We are in another trade deficit because your tariffs and the way you do business is shut us out. And the last time I heard that was the Depression. It doesn't, this whole voodoo economics thing is ridiculous. And now you've got this guy from the EG on Tone. What's his name? The guy who's now the head of the Bureau
EJ,
of Labor
E-
Statistics.
EJ and Anthony. Anthony
Anthony.
was from Project 2025. He's an economist, but he's a
So he
dipshit.
has 2 years out of college, PhD in economics, no papers, no peer studies, no experience. The only thing he's been doing is propping up Trump bullshit. And he comes on. Oh, by the way, he was at the Capitol on January 6th. They got pictures. Um, and this guy idea of fixing it is that we're just not going to announce labor statistics anymore because they're fake anyway. I mean, I'm going, what are you talking about? I mean, they just want to hide it all, but you can't hide it. Eventually, it's going to catch up with you. It will catch up with you. It's insane.
Those numbers, they're playing it off like it's just public information, this publicity and stuff, and we just won't tell them the bad news. But the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of people in this country that use those numbers, the Fed, investors, Wall Street, they use all these things to make some important decisions. And if they don't have the information or they're not confident of the information, that's a fucking problem. What will
Yeah,
happen is nobody will pay attention to the government numbers and they'll get it independently somehow. They'll have to.
and the economy will suffer for it. Also, I mean, they do their own numbers. I mean, financial companies, banks will do other numbers. They won't get as accurate, but they can get close. And the Goldman Sachs economist, their main one, was saying, hey, these tariffs are going to fuck us, basically. I mean, that's not scientific, but it's true. This is what it is. If we continue down this road, we're looking at recession. This is not good. Trump's response told Goldman Sachs to fire him because he's lying. Goldman Sachs is going to hire an economist who's going to make up numbers. He's responsible to make sure these people can see what's going on so they make decisions for their clients, especially with mutual funds. This is what we're dealing with. This is some serious 1984 bullshit. And people just go along. It shocks me. And I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop because manufacturing is falling. Prices are going down. The CPI index was up 0.9%. No one said anything about that. I barely heard that on the news. That went away. Oh,
The state of Nebraska is days away from bankruptcy. The whole fucking state. I'll tell you this, Donald Trump, everybody says Donald Trump was responsible for 6 bankruptcies. That ain't shit. He's going to be responsible for tens of thousands of bankruptcies all across this country.
yeah. In Nevada, they're pissed. They have a Democratic legislature who's trying to fix what their tourism is dead.
Yeah.
Tourism is dead in Nevada, and they've been trying to fix it, but their governor is a MAGA fuck who keeps vetoing anything they're doing to try to help the working people in Nevada, saying Trump is fine, no tax on tips, whatever. No one is coming to Nevada or Vegas. Why? Oh, I don't know. Because a woman and her child from New Zealand got arrested by ICE at the border for something. And you think people are going to risk that? The World Cup's coming next year. I don't know if people can be able to get in. I mean, it's insane. They had a Gaza visa exception for people with health issues to come in here. Laura Loomer found out about it, screamed like the little that she is, and DHS and immigration pulled all their visas. People from Gaza coming here for health reasons, they pulled it because she said something. It's ridiculous.
But who is Laura Loomer? She doesn't hold any position. She doesn't have any power. It's just that she's got the ear of Donald Trump, and then Donald Trump does whatever she says. You've got this, 30-year-old weirdo bitch telling him shit, and he's just doing whatever she says. That's ironic. And you've got somebody like Stephen Miller, what's he, maybe 40 years old, who's a ghoulish looking motherfucker. He's listening to everything they say. That's how stupid Donald Trump is. He's got dumb fucks advising him, and he's taking the advice.
Well, I mean, Laura Loomer is a side piece. Let's be blunt. She's a little old for him, I would think, but any port in the storm.
Yeah, I suppose.
And and on a side note, did you see Hunter Biden go off?
I did.
Hunter Biden just went off. He said, my dad's not around, and I'm just going to go. And he was absolutely correct. He basically said, fuck you, come see me. You want to sue me because I said something about the Epstein files? Let's do discovery. I'm ready. Let's do it. that interview, every Republican went fucking bananas. Why? Because he finally said what he'd been wanting to say for years, and you don't like it because a lot of it was true. Very, very true.
Is I don't know where the libel or slander comes in here because he very specifically said it says in this book written by a Trump biographer that she was introduced to Donald Trump by Jeffrey Epstein. He didn't say, I know this. He was just quoting a book. So how could you sue him for quoting a book? You can't. And then if you have to go through the discovery, we know that she knew Jeffrey Epstein. We knew that she came through the similar pipeline from Eastern Europe to here. A young, attractive woman coming from Eastern Europe through who she claims was a modeling agent. But here's the thing, they kept saying she's a supermodel. Show me one portfolio that shows she was a model for anything of any importance. She wasn't. She
No,
was
for
coming through
Cassell
the
Maxwell.
pipeline. And if you
Yeah,
want
I mean,
to, if they want to sue me, good, because I ain't got nothing.
and it was, and I just love what he just sat there and said, "Fuck him,"
Yeah.
literally. And I just love how the Republicans are like going crazy. Hey guys, fuck you, because he's right. And the point is that this is what they don't like. And so going back to where we were with this whole thing, here we are now. On Monday, Zelensky is coming to Washington to talk to Trump about what Vladimir Putin said. Um, and I don't know what's going to happen. The reason the EU is sending people because they don't want what happened the last time.
And he got
I hope
ambushed and
not.
they basically got kicked out of the White House. But the thing is, and it could happen that way because Donald Trump is insisted on getting this deal done, and the only way he can get the deal done is if
It's not.
Zelensky capitulates to Vladimir Putin, and that's not going to happen. So Donald Trump will
And
get
here
frustrated and mad again.
we need to talk about this. This is what the nomenclature has been taken over by Trump. This isn't a deal. This is fucking diplomacy.
Right.
This is a peace uh, coming to an end of a war for a peace treaty. There's no deal. This is a diplomatic effort. You see, they changed everything into some kind of reality show. Like the trade deal, that's not trade, that's economics. That's not deals. It's economic policy set by the United States to benefit you. They dumb all this shit down for them. I mean, they want people to think, yeah, he just strokes the pen. No, it doesn't work like that. You can't, we can't operate like that because that's why everything is sounds so dumb. He's not making a deal. This should be diplomacy where you talk it through. You use other people to do it, but you don't because Donald Trump is an idiot and the people around him have this weird out view of the world that does not exist. It doesn't exist. It never existed in the 50s. Sorry, guys. It never did.
Because Donald Trump has continually failed with regards to Russia. He told us before he got elected that he would end the war in 24 hours easily with a phone call. That didn't happen. Then he gave him a 10-day deadline to get a ceasefire or horrible things would happen. He let that go, did nothing to the Republican Party or to Vladimir Putin and the Russians. Then he gave him another deadline, and they missed that deadline. Nothing happened. So they said, well, we're going to have a meeting. We're not going to invite Zelensky because Vladimir Putin said no. Apparently, Vladimir Putin is calling the shots, not Donald Trump. So they had this meeting, and he said, I'm going to be disappointed if we don't get a ceasefire out of this. Not only did they not get a ceasefire out of it, they didn't even get a commitment to a trilateral meeting where all three of them came together. They didn't even get that. So he got pressure over that, and he said, well, let's get Zelensky here on Monday because he was getting too much heat about that. And he'll fuck this one up too.
And again, that type of thing is on deadlines. That's not diplomacy.
No.
That's not diplomacy. It doesn't work like that. Same thing. I mean, to end this war, there has to be some massive diplomacy. And also, there's got to be pushback on Putin because he is in the wrong. Because Trump keeps selling that Ukraine The reason he said there needs to be a deal because Russia is a big power and Ukraine isn't. What the fuck are you talking about? You're telling me that because they're bigger and they have more sovereignty? It's the same thing when they said about why are you getting the seats? Well, we have so many seats anyway. We deserve 5 more. I mean, that's the thing. They don't respect anyone. They don't respect them. And are you gonna go? That's not diplomacy. It doesn't work like that. But again,
It's
I'm
the only way you
just
can get
some
this
freaking
settled.
idiot.
The only way you can get this settled is by putting pressure on Vladimir Putin because he won't, you can't negotiate with somebody who won't give an inch. So you got to
Yeah.
force him to give an inch. And Donald Trump just doesn't have the wherewithal to do it. But there's one simple way to do this. America has $300 billion of Russian money frozen, tied up. If they said, look, you don't fucking do something, we're going to unfreeze that money, hand it over to Ukraine, and they can buy all the fucking bombs they want and fight back. Because that's really the only way you're going to beat Russia or get Vladimir Putin to
Well,
back down, is if you kick his ass. Unfortunately, that's the
yeah.
only way.
And Trump is he's flailing around, okay,
Um,
and it's all costing us. And the problem we have right now here in the United States, he is so desperate for control. He
yeah.
hates the idea of other people in control. Hence the DC thing. There was no reason for DC other than the Epstein diversion, which I'm still haven't heard much of Epstein in the main media. They've done their job. Congress is gone. I mean, I haven't heard. Have you heard anything from Congress? It's
No.
silent over there.
I think there
Nothing.
was one other thing he was trying to divert from or distract from. Certainly Jeffrey Epstein. But also on the day he went into Washington, D.C., that's when it came out that he gave China another 90 days and he didn't want to be called a
Right.
chicken
That
again.
got kind of vanished. Yeah. And that's what he's. And that's the thing. It's not only. It's just the incompetency and the chaos. And now he's already told Congress he gets a 30-day window to do what he did in D.C. under the Home Rule Act. He's telling them if you don't extend it, I'm going to declare a national emergency. Okay, and that gives the president more powers, economic powers, communication powers. I don't know if he's going to go that far because the point is, at that point, it's civil war. Are you really going to do that? Are you really going to do that? Because you don't have enough troops in this country to stop him. Just do what you're going to do.
He's going to do it, but I guarantee you he will attempt it. Or will the Republicans again just fold to Donald Trump and vote and allow him to do it? Because I got to tell you, once this is all done, there's going to be a lot of members of Congress that have some questions that need to be answered. And when they lose in 2026, they are going to be hounded about this shit.
I mean, they're hounded now
Yeah.
in their town halls and in town meetings, but they really don't give a fuck because they don't think there's going to be consequences. I see their reactions. They don't see their consequences. They think Trump will save them. Trump is their savior. Everything will be okay. Come next November, people will vote Republican, and that's what they always do. That's what they're holding on to. That's their story, and they're sticking to it.
That
But if
seems
that's
pretty
your
blind
story,
to me.
say again.
That seems pretty blind to me. I mean,
I
that's
know,
ridiculous.
but see, that's what's worked all the time,
Yeah.
and so they're going to stick with it. But if that was the story, why are you working so hard for this redistricting bullshit? Why? Because you know you're fucked. Even without the restriction in California, it was going to be bad because people, again, you took away people's livelihoods and you took away their health care. I mean, they aren't done. There's another bill proposed to basically gut the ACA to end it through little strokes through bureaucracy. And once they do that, I mean, healthcare is going to go up. I am not looking forward this next 2 months when I get how much it's going to cost for my healthcare through work. I got a feeling it's going to be ridiculously bad, very expensive. And electricity costs are going to go up again because of what he did. And that's where the rubber's going to meet the road, because if you can't, and the other thing is the absolute lack of empathy for people who don't have anything. The attack on the homeless, you just turned them to non-citizens. You basically said, we're good. There's no way for them to get help. The reason they're homeless is because they don't have enough to have any kind of shelter. You don't have the systems to do that. You refuse to it. You've always fought against it. And now these people are on the streets and Trump looks at them as garbage. The reason that he wants the homeless, someone said, Carol Levitt said, oh yeah, he saw them coming back from playing golf and it bothered him. They were ruining DC. Really? That's a king bullshit oligarch crap. So now, and I've seen it, DC police are picking these people up, packing up their shit, and where are you taking them? Where are they going? Do they have any due process? Are they under arrest? We don't know, because Trump, with one statement, made them non-people. And if you're poor, this is 40 years of fucking Fox News telling you if you're poor, you're shit. If you work on a regular job, you're not worth it. You're nothing. That's what they've been saying for decades. And now you've got the president who's basically saying, oh yeah, it's a crime to be poor, and we're going to deal with it. I don't know what to say to that.
I would think people would have a light bulb over their head when they finally see this impacting them. But there are still people who are suffering because of Donald Trump and still support Donald Trump. I mean, that's just mental illness right there.
I know, but like you see, yeah, the congressman said that, people getting Medicaid. Do you want people to get, free medical care? As one person said, you get it, because it's not free; it's taxes.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to pay for some? I don't care. They need it. They need it. I need it. I mean, this is where they're at, and this is what they've been indoctrinated to since the Reagan years. And here we are. I mean, that's why you had a safety net. But hey, go ahead, see how far that's going to go, because eventually you give people no hope. Bad things happen. That's all I got to say. Very bad things happen.
And we're seeing some of it with the protests in Los Angeles and in Washington, D.C. Like I said, we were talking about, sending people in with weapons. You're just asking for another Kent State. I just wonder how far off we are right now at this point of something that you said regarding the pitchforks and the torches,
Yeah, and
because
my
I
only
think people are
concern,
getting to that point.
I would hope, but my concern is like, and as we discussed last week, in the civil rights movement, the violence didn't come from people asking for the rights. The violence came from people trying to suppress their rights.
Right.
And it was ignored until you had that bombing of the church that killed the 4 little girls, and that kind of changed the narrative. My biggest concern right now, if we have something as egregious like that in DC or somewhere else, will people care? And that's a scary, scary fucking thought, that they're so far down to non-empathy. They don't care about their fellow person anymore. They don't. They have not. I mean, evangelicals have basically tossed out what Christ stood for. They have, and replaced it with whatever makes them look good. And it's embarrassing. I mean, also, these preachers talking about removing women's rights, making women slaves, basically, lowering the adulthood that women can get married at age 14. Okay, sick fucks, what is wrong with you? I mean, and it's also always these old fucking men. What is wrong with you? What happened to you? Where's your morality? And don't tell me it's because you wanted to increase the population. No, because you're sick. And there's,
Exactly.
go
There
ahead.
are no morals on the Republican side. There are no morals. And I don't care who you are. If you think you're better than Donald Trump, but you support Donald Trump, you're just as bad as Donald Trump. You're just as
There
bad as
is,
all these people.
there's this concept of covenant marriage, which is basically religious servitude. There's an app where parents can put their daughters up on this app so they can find marriages for them, covenant marriages, young girls, 14, 15, 16 years old. And if you're a parent selling your child like that, I mean, we used to call DPS on people like you. We didn't bless you. We put you in jail and took your kids away to get them away from you. I mean, I mean, The Handmaid's Tale should not have been a documentary, guys. I mean, and the thing about it is, I see this every day. I hear this every day. And I'm glad my children are older enough, but I worry about my daughter in this world.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
I mean, and and the thing about it is, I do not want to hear another goddamn piece on white men, young man, white man loneliness. Okay, if you're like that, you need to understand that there's something wrong with you because you can't relate to other people. And I'm not talking about marriage or sex. I'm talking about in general. If you don't have friends, if you don't speak to people, if you cannot connect with people on a basis, there's something wrong. That's why you're lonely. That's why you
Goes
don't connect. And don't
and
tell me it's because of the internet and stuff. Even the internet, that's still fine. You're still connecting. But if you keep doing that and blaming women for your problem, then you have a problem. That's why you're lonely. That's why you're lonely.
it goes back to people when they have their kids in school and the kids break rules or have problems in school and they blame it on the system, not on the behavior of the child. So these people are taught that they're never wrong, that it's never their fault, it's the system just coming down on them. And I think there are a lot of people out there that are like that. If you're lonely, I'll tell you what, if I walk into a room and I don't say anything, just stand there, I'll stand there by myself. But if I interact with people, I have a fucking crowd around me. It's a simple fucking thing. If you
Yeah.
want interaction, then fucking interact. If you don't, then don't. But don't whine either way.
I mean, I've been in a restaurant with my wife, and it's like 15 minutes. She's the best friends with the waitress.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there. And the thing about it is, like, that's the thing. I keep seeing this shit, and I keep hearing this shit. And I'm like going, and then they get on TikToks and everything. They blame women. And they say it's because they have too much rights. I mean, what the hell are you guys talking about? And basically, let's be honest, they're incels, and they just don't want to relate. They want relationships
Sure.
um, on their rules. Do what I say. Give me what I want. Give me, give me, give me. Well, relationships are give and take. It doesn't work like that. That's why
No.
you're alone. But you won't realize that because the podcast bros have told you it's nothing wrong with you, it's them. It's because you need to be more masculine. What the fuck is masculinity? You have no idea what it is. You know what masculinity is? Is that I have to work from 11 to 7 today to keep family going and have a relationship with my kids and my wife. That's masculinity to me, doing my job, doing what am I supposed to do. I mean, I'm not, uh, you guys honestly need therapy. Go find a therapist, go talk. Let
Say
them
that
find your issues.
If you whine all day and complain about other people, that is the opposite of masculine. Masculine means taking control of your situation and doing what you need to do and being a man about it. But if you're sitting at home on your computer, mad because girls won't talk to you, that's not masculine. That's a pussy ass bitch, and you deserve what
Yeah.
you get.
I mean, I don't, and again, this is one of the undercurrents that we're dealing with because um, far right views and far right religion appeal to these guys because they give them simple solutions. They
Right.
can't critically think for themselves. And the only way they do it is to get even with everyone else. Every one of these, a good amount of the ICE agents, not all of them, are failed human beings who
Oh, no
use
question.
violence and hate to make themselves feel better themselves. That's where you're at, guys. Deal with it. And until you, I mean, that's the thing. I don't know what went wrong. I don't want to talk about, I mean, people will say, well, because we made men soft. No, you guys just didn't get the lesson from your parents. You weren't raised well. The best review I saw of the new Superman movie was from Chris Stuckman, who does a lot of good reviews on YouTube. And he said the one thing he liked about watching the Superman movie was the difference between Lex Luthor and Clark Kent is that Clark Kent was raised well by his parents, taught him how to be a good man and look out for everybody else. Lex Luthor was raised poorly. And I thought that is the most best description of someone's life. How were you raised? I know our parents were fucked up. Mine were sometimes. My dad was. But a lot of things he's taught me, I keep because it made sense. My mom gave me my empathy and worrying about other people. My dad gave me that don't give it up. Stick with it. Fuck them. That's what you got to do. And am I perfect? Hell no. Shit no. But the point is, I believe I was raised well. I believe I raised my kids well, mostly from my mom, from my wife. But the point is, how if you're a parent, and I know circumstances are tough, how are you raising your kids to think? What is important? And is it empathy and making sure they can find ways to navigate life? Or is it a political agenda? Because if you're raising your kids with a political agenda, those kids are in fucking trouble. And
Well,
that's
if all you
simple as that.
do, put it this way, if all you do all day, every day is whine about how somebody's trying to hold you down, the government's trying to screw you. I hear people all the time tell me, my mom and dad fucked me up, and that's the way I am. Look, we all go through shit when we're young. Some of it good, some of it bad. But there comes a point when you become an adult. And regardless of how you were raised, you know the difference between right and wrong. If you choose the wrong way, then you're a fucking piece of shit. It's as simple as that. Don't tell me mommy or daddy didn't treat me well and you're 30 years old because you fucking know better. Do do better. Do the right thing in spite
Right.
of how you were raised.
So, I mean, I think that's a lot of things we see right now that's playing out because
Uh,
those people in charge, those people on the top, know how to manipulate those people. That's what
right,
we see because it gives them something. I
right.
mean, every totalitarian government has had those people. Um, the fascists, I mean, all of them, they always had the brown shirts, the young men who feel disenchanted, and they use them to bolster their power and their violence. That's what they use. That's what they use MAGA for. That's what they use the brown shirts for. That's what Mussolini used his people for. They always do that. They find them because they see a figure they have nothing society has given them, so they'll take it out on society. They will go after the other because it makes them feel bigger than them. And that's where we're at. And
Exactly.
until and the only way to get rid of it is that we have to get to cut the head off the snake. And that's where we're at and bleed it out. This is not going to be easy, guys, and I have no easy solution for it. Um, there are days where I say, "What the fuck?" I mean, I'm just going to drink myself later, I don't drink. Let me find some gummies and I'm gonna be fine. But the point is, I can't temper what I say and what I do, because to temper what they say and what they do, for me to not to go outside afraid of what might happen to me because of ICE, is giving into it. That's the thing. Whenever these guys capitulate, the news, corporations, schools, or people on TikTok worried about what's going to happen, you just capitulated to them. And that's not what you do, because that's what you want you to do.
Say I can't temper what I say. Excuse me. Um, because I can temper what I say. The point is, I fucking won't. I won't temper
Yes.
what I say because we're in a fight and there is no holds barred.
No.
We're going to fight, and you're going to get fucked up just as much as I am if I have anything to say about it. I could be the nice, quiet little guy and say, "Oh, we got to protect these people, and we got to be nice to them." Fuck that. This is a
No.
fight. We tried that. Now let's get to kicking people's
I mean,
asses.
I tempered it. I didn't call Laura Loomer the C word. I wanted to. But
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't do it. Now, if I was British, I would have done it in a minute, because
Well, yeah.
they could. But yeah, I mean, there are times where you have to be at certain things, and we know you have to toe it down. But I think right now in this fight, that's where we're in a fight. We're in a civil war, and I think right now it's a civil war of words, a civil war of people pushing back. Why is independent media so big? Because people are looking for it. They're looking for it. You don't want to have those numbers because they're selling something. They're looking for it. They need answers. They know they're getting bullshitted. That's the thing. They know it. We can hear it. So,
It wasn't about tempering things and backing down. If you're fighting right now, what you need to do, ramp it up higher and
yeah.
ramp it up higher until we fucking beat these assholes. That's the only thing you can do.
And is it going to get ugly? Oh, God. I don't know
No,
what's next for these guys. I don't know how far they will go, how far they
no,
will
I
be
don't either.
allowed to go.
I don't either.
And I mean, I hope my wife is not correct that it's going to take our children's children to fix this mess. I hope that's wrong.
Hopefully
Um,
that is wrong. But at least we can get, at least if we can get back on track and going the right direction, at least be a start to get some relief to the bullshit that's going on now. But it
but I
may take a
see,
while to fix
but
it.
it makes me feel better to see people in DC pushing back. DC people screaming at police and everything. Hell, I'll give the guy credit. Throwing the sandwich on that cop, dude, that, good. You were fed up with him. You were yelling at him because you knew it was wrong, and he ignored you, and you threw the sandwich in frustration. You're going to spend 20 years in jail for no. You know what? He's going to get to court, and that's going to be laughed out of there. There's no way to give him 20 years for that. It was no big deal. It was a minor assault. I mean, fuck. I mean, but the point is, even he knew, who worked in the Justice Department, knew this was fucked up. He knew it was fucked up.
The way I look at this guy with the sandwich is, and I'll do a take like a Republican would do the take. I would say this guy is a hero because he sacrificed. He sacrificed a good dinner to fight for his country. Now that is a true motherfucking
And
patriot.
that is a patriot. And that's the thing. Yeah. Patriotism, one sandwich at a time. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
but there is pushback. People don't want to ramp it up because they don't want to get to the point where there's going to be extreme violence and people lose their lives. And I think that's what they're waiting for, that an excuse. Because even in DC right now, even if they're bringing weapons, are you going to do it? Because once you do it, you cross that line. I don't know what's next. And here's the thing: the vice mayor of Los Angeles, there's a video of her asking gang members to put aside their differences, and ICE shows up in your neighborhood, defend your neighborhoods. And I'm going, okay. That's why ICE is not showing up in certain neighborhoods. They know better. And
They can
it's
advertise.
tough. Say again?
I used to work in advertising, and I have a brilliant promotional idea for Subway, Jimmy John's, or Jersey Mike's. The next protest, you go with a truck and you hand out as many fucking sandwiches as you can get and have everybody in the fucking protest throwing sandwiches. Then let's see what the fuck they do.
Okay, so this is to everyone in the comments because we see a lot of good comments. I do a lot. I want you guys in the comments, I think I might be down with it. What would be the ultimate Patriot sandwich that would cause the most damage to a cop? What would you be on it? Personally, I'm thinking meatball with a lot of sauce, and paper and not wrapped but open so it flies. But there's got to be other stuff. Sauerkraut in a sandwich would be nasty. But the point being is, we need a Patriot sandwich.
Chili sandwich with molten cheese on it. That would be the way to go.
Ooh, that's painful.
I mean, it's a waste of good food, but I think it would be hilarious and it would be a great promotion.
It's for a good cause. It's for America.
For
defending
America.
American democracy, one sandwich at a time. Honestly, I'm curious what you guys will come up with. And it's funny because we need a laugh. But if you look at it, what that guy did was actually frustration that a lot of us have.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be just sandwich. It's going to be a lot for people because they're going to reach the point. And I'm not going to give up hope on the American people of capitulation. The only way you're going to make us capitulate is if you kill a lot of us, to be blunt. A lot of us. Because Americans they're not down with it. I can see it. They would rather the crime than those people in the city. Because they know those people are going to cause more problems. LA wasn't problems till you showed up. And again, they haven't stepped foot in Chicago and New York. I'm waiting for that. Let's see how that works, guys. And again, the governors are going to stand up. Trump may push this into a civil war and not even know about it. I hope it doesn't get there because I'm behind enemy lines personally, and that's going to be tough.
Mason-Dixon. You're on the wrong side of the Mason-Dixon line.
But so for all of you who just kind of like, and I get it, I get the comments, and I get the people, what do? We just keep moving forward and just, don't let them hide it. Don't let them hide it. The reason that TikTok's doing this thing because they want you to hide it. They want to hide it. Nope. Can't hide it. And it's hard. And it's kind of hard to hide it from these guys because they're so bad at it. They do everything out in the open. And then even if they try to do a secret, there are people in there going, oh, by the way, let me tell you what's going on. There's something wrong in that White House when people are still turning the people out. I mean, shit. And I think that's our saving grace is that these guys suck at fascism. They really do. They suck at
fascism. They suck at fascism as much as they suck at insurrection. I mean, they couldn't even pull it off, and they had all the power. They're the fucking losers. They're just absolute.
To be honest, it was a good plan. If you think about what their thoughts behind it, to force it was that it could have worked. It would have been a nightmare. It could have worked. But they were so bad at it. You didn't have everyone agreeing to it. You don't have a plan and then tell the vice president, yeah, tomorrow we're doing this. You're going to agree with me? What? You don't. And that's the thing. That's what I keep holding on very hard is that they are so incompetent that if they try to do something egregious, it's just going to blow up in their face and it'll turn tides. So Trump is a joke. And I want everyone to keep remembering that. He is ridiculous. He thinks he's something he's never going to be. I have never, like when he walks, doesn't that just, you look at it and go, there is something wrong.
Every time I see him walk like down that red carpet, I hear a song in my head, and it's Do 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 do. Some cartoon
Uh,
fucking of
Part
some
of
guy
it,
waddling.
and with the other people running, then you go on to the Benny Hill thing because you have all those handlers running around him. Because I
Yeah.
think about the end of the Benny Hill show, and that's what they're doing. And that's the thing. We have to look at one thing, and I think it's time before we sign off, is that the one thing everyone has to concentrate on too is that we have to get rid of the Heritage Foundation by hook and crook. There's got to be a way to absolutely go after them when we have a true law enforcement, because those people are guilty of some shit. They are guilty of some shit. We need to go in there and tear that place apart because they are nothing more but a fascist think tank and a bunch of rich white guys who think they can get away with something. And we have to find out what's going on. Thank God for the protesters every day in front of the Heritage Foundation making fun of those guys. And they all look the same. They're all dumpy white guys with bad suits that come out. But they are the impetus behind this. But I'll tell you one thing. Americans are not going to be a crystal fascination. I mean, in order to do in The Handmaid's Tale, they had to kill a lot of people. And unless these assholes are willing to go that far, that's the end at that point. Well, we'll see what happens. I don't want to get there, and I'm hoping that their own competency and at the end of this report, unfortunately, Donald Trump is still alive, and I'm hoping that change someday. There was one lady who did it, and she goes, "I don't understand why you people are just making videos of celebrating like if something happens to you know who. I mean, why are you celebrating? I don't get it. Doesn't that make you mean? And what are you going to do?" And the first comment I put in there was, "Goes, I got champagne on ice. I got a Dom Perignon, because it will be a party. I'm sorry. No one's going to have any sympathy but MAGA. We will shout to the heavens and say, it's about fucking time. And we are going to celebrate. And when he has his presidential funeral, because they'll insist on it, trust me, people will be out there protesting and making fun. Personally, if I could literally, guys, I'm going to get crude, so bear with me. If I could piss in the front of his casket, I would. Okay? That's the way that is going to go, whether you like it or not.
The groundskeeper at the cemetery is going to have a tough time keeping the grass growing because people will daily pee on that grave, just as they shit on every hole in the Scottish fucking golf course.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. And will it change everything? Nah. I mean, we still have to deal with Vance and the rest of those guys. But if you think that's cruel, I will say this. I had a beer when Rush Limbaugh died, and I was happy. Amen. Hallelujah. And I hope he's burning in hell. Period.
Absolutely.
In this
Well, we're going to wrap things up for the Rational Boomer podcast. Tell folks where they can find you, at least for now, on TikTok.
Yeah, on TikTok, you can find me on that so-called wishy-washy fruit called Kumquat 6 on TikTok. But I am on YouTube with my true name, Binder38US, on YouTube. You can find it on Substack too, although Substack drives me crazy technologically. But if I'm going to do a political live, it's going to be on Substack. It will not be on TikTok. I'm done with that. That live is just not worth the hassle.
It's about doing TikTok lives now too, because it's like they're out there looking for you. I stopped by Trucker T's TikTok live inadvertently. I ended up there, and then they called me on, and I think Trucker T got 2 or 3 warnings during the time I was there, and there was nothing that would cause a violation, but apparently it doesn't matter. So I don't know. I'll maybe do one more TikTok live, see how what it's like, and if it's rough, I may not do another one.
Yeah, and so those are the places I'm kind of hanging out. Because the funny thing about it is, I used to complain, or at least to wonder why YouTube videos like get 15 or 100. I'm getting that on TikTok right now because I am so fucking suppressed. It's not even funny. So screw it. But I don't. People keep wondering, well, what do you do? How do you do release? Well, this is it, guys. I have to do it this way. Because who else is? I mean, I can't. I mean, there's only so much beer in a keg, if that makes sense. And this is more therapeutic than anything.
I think I talked to you about it. I've done it with Eric once. Maybe you and I can do a live on YouTube. Maybe Substack, do it together. That might be fun.
Yeah, we have to
That might be
do
fun.
that and see how it goes. And again, just everyone, it's going to we'll figure this out eventually. Because always remember, history says all these regimes end badly.
Right.
When it's going to end badly for them.
Yeah.
And
it will absolutely end badly. All right. Well, thank you very much. For those of you listening, thanks for taking the time to do that. I hope you have a great day. We will talk to you again tomorrow.